things you can do with this. Of course, you can use the teeth. Picture scraping my eyes with it. I can come up here and hit you in the neck like this and rip the face. Use this like a hook and hook them here. Yeah. Or somebody's got you like this and you just reach back and go.
This really goes to show you what they think is going to go down and what they're actually prepping for. Let's prep for Doomsday, y'all.
Your money.
Oh my gosh.
Blah, blah, blah.
Hey, it's Zeke. I'm riding in the back of a pickup truck through a prepper community, and I'm trying to figure out if we should be afraid of the end of the world. So.
I have been, to one degree or another, preparing for my entire life. The Father, God, is calling his people to the Ozarks.
Demons and angels are real, and Jesus wasn't a pussy.
People in the year 1000 thought the world was ending. People who saw the plague thought the world was ending. I think it's more relevant to your life to look at what could be a natural disaster for you personally.
In New York City, nobody knows how to do anything. You don't have to use a lot of survival skills.
Turn your lights on! Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up! Hurry up! Hurry up! Hurry up! Hurry up!
Preppers are wild, y'all. If you didn't know about the phenomenon of preppers, I would recommend We're in Hell's video on Doomsday Preppers. It's real good, but holy shit are preppers wild, okay? And the thing about preppers that you need to know is that this is less about them being ahead of the curve and being like, we're preparing for the incoming climate apocalypse, which in and of itself, you know, would be a good thing. That alone, I'd be like, okay, I'm on board. Yeah, let's do that thing. But at the end of the day, it's about them having control and power, and ultimately, I'm going to be real with you, having themselves maybe a couple post-pandemic, let's just say, people who need them, to put it as kindly as possible, people who need the resources. So they've got this weird fantasy. Sometimes it's a hypersexual fantasy about being the only ones in an apocalypse who were prepared. And because they're prepared, others are going to have to be like, well, I mean, we have to go do what Bob wants. He's got all the medicine and he knows how to make coal by peeing on wood and turning that into fertilizer. So we need to do everything he asks of us. He will have to breed the future race of star children.
We have a phrase we use: I can be your best friend or your worst enemy. You get to pick.
Yeah, Olive, good plug. Worst Year Ever's episode is really good.
Clearly, we are gun positive, but I like to say we're not gun crazy.
Yeehaw! Ye fucking how.
Our Doomsday Preppers rank of a worldwide mysterious monoliths have been appearing. Gun taxes sinister to California.
As clickbait headlines warp our view of the world, we're going down the rabbit hole to ask, how afraid should we really be? On this episode, Doomsday.
Oh shit.
Store shelves nationwide are dwindling or totally empty.
FEMA admits failures occurred in its disaster response to Hurricane Maria.
A ransomware attack forced a vital U.S. pipeline offline over the weekend.
There's a lot of fear on the news these days. With global pandemic, raging natural disasters, and a fragmenting republic, we've been forced to think about a possible scenario where our institutions collapse. I started hanging around the corners of the internet where Doomsday Preppers congregate, and I stumbled upon the Viking Preparedness YouTube and Patreon channels.
The world is going crazy!
What intrigues me about the former Green Beret turned pastor, Joe Fox, was his caffeine-fueled sense of urgency.
Preparedness is a biblical concept. You have to take steps now.
He also scared the shit out of me when I told him I lived in New York City.
You know, there are 2 cities in the United States that I firmly believe are going to get nuked, and one of them is New York City.
Feeling rather unsafe in my own home, I went to meet Pastor Joe to learn more about his lifestyle, which did seem a little extreme to me. But I also wanted to see what I could do in my own life to be more prepared.
Welcome to Shofar Mountain.
Hey, good to meet you, man.
You too.
I brought you some coffee from New York because I
American.
know you. I see you drinking coffee every morning. Big sips of coffee. So
thank you very much.
Yeah.
This is Shofar Mountain.
Okay.
It started out as an intentional community. We wanted to live in a way that would allow us to get closer to God. And it has become what was known in the vernacular as a prepper retreat.
Right, yes, absolutely.
We call ourselves Shofarites. It's just a whimsical term we came up with.
Oh, it's a great term. I love it. So how many people live with you up here on Shofar Mountain?
That is classified.
Okay, all right.
A few.
I mean, can we say
a few families?
A few families, more than a dozen families?
A few families.
That is classified, brother. I cannot reveal that private information about how many families and how many women I intend to breed with are on this compound at this given time, but just to let you know, there may be a few families, but there's going to be a lot more given some time. and how much caffeine I can get in my system.
Okay. All right. As a security measure, Pastor Joe was repeatedly vague with some of my more specific questions.
We call it operational security. Those are classified. I won't tell you.
Okay. What happens if somebody came in here? Would you just kind of stop them here and say, hey?
We have stopped people in the past, and honestly, I think I'm a pretty nice guy. I mean, as things go, I'm an asshole with trespassers.
This is a good time. What can we ask you what you have on your hip here?
I mean, I'm just carrying a handgun. It's a Glock.
Well, you carrying a Glock? Okay.
Yeah. Everybody carries Glocks.
Are you always armed? Or
Yeah.
You never leave house? Never leave
I never go anywhere without a gun.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Just don't point the muzzle at anybody.
Okay. I asked Pastor Joe to show me some of his firearms.
I'll have to come back.
Okay. Let's do this load.
I have too many guns to carry in one trip. That makes me a
Oh,
survivor.
Vic Berger has
And
videos on this guy?
in his answers.
Give me a link. I'll watch that
have?
after.
Enough. I'll be back.
Okay. But he was willing to show me a basic prepper's firearm kit. Wow. Okay. So this is an assortment of
prepper firearms.
Okay, and it's not your full inventory. This is enough of your. This is enough.
It's enough to get the point across.
Tim Gawkis,
These
thank
are
you.
the types of firearms that someone who's relatively serious about preparedness would probably have.
I think with a lot of folks today, they might just say, "Oh, I've got a Glock and I'm good to go," or "I've got an AR-15, I'm good to go." Why? Do you
Jim
have
Baker.
Well, they're all tools,
Okay.
and they all have a purpose.
Yeah.
And while you can drive a screw into a piece of wood with a hammer, it's not the best tool to do that with.
Sure.
Right.
You could do everything with an AR-15, right? It could be home defense. It could be hunting.
I mean, technically, you could kill any animal in North America with a 22. I mean, honestly. But when it comes to a fight, if you have to shoot a lot of bullets and reload, you need the ability to have a magazine-fed weapon that you can reload fast. And so,
oh, of course, especially if you're like fighting armed deer. I mean, they're fucking ruthless. Okay, when you get a whole bunch of Bambis together and they've all got like automatic assault rifles, you will need to fight back. I mean, that is a war you cannot win unless you are heavily armed and prepared to do so.
that's why I have it.
Pastor Joe invited me to join some other Shofarians at their shooting range to learn more about why they train.
Cody is our range officer.
Oh, don't get me started on wild hogs.
So we're just gonna start with
Fucking wild hogs come along, you are gonna need a tactical nuke. Okay, that's all I'll say. Don't waste time. Don't waste any time. Fucking get that tactical nuke. Take those fucking hogs out.
with pistols. Focus on the fundamentals.
Thank you,
Give me
Leah.
one
I
shot.
appreciate
We'll
it.
do that a couple times.
We're good guys. I think you're probably a good guy. We don't get to pick when bad things happen. Bad guys get to pick, right? You and I aren't going to walk around and start stuff with anybody, but we don't control the bad guy. And we train.
Don't mess with deer. Clip from The Ring 2. The Ring 2 was so bad. All right, I actually like the American remake of The Ring. It actually genuinely scared me. I just like some of those shots were so like it was better than Ringu. Okay, the Ring was better than Ringu. Fight me. That's gonna be my spicy take for the day. Not all American remakes are, but that happens to be an exception to the rule. But The Ring 2 was so bad. It's like the Ring 2, every single scene was like, hey, by the way, just so you know that scary face from The Ring 1 that got everybody, well, that's gonna be most of this movie. So we're gonna keep doing scenes, and then right when you least suspect it, even though it's when you most suspect it, there's gonna be a and then it's like, oh, the scary face, the blue face with the thing. I'm so scared. Never knew the thing was coming with the scary face and the face. It gets cool.
Rachel!
Oh, don't fuck with deer. Shit. The preppers are right, okay? Yeah, the preppers are right.
Don't stop. Go, drive! Get down!
Yeah, okay, all right. The Doomsday Prepper guy was totally right. He was totally right. I apologize. I retract my statement. It was wrong of me to mock him. Okay, this shit ain't funny. This ain't a game. You need a semi-automatic rifle at this point. Nothing else will do. Oh, it's even got the Eye of Ra. Not only did somebody write this, They did a fucking table read. Okay? Like, there was a goddamn team of adults, some of them multimillionaires, who sat in a room, executive producers, who were like, okay, yeah, this'll play well. Let's put a whole bunch of money down and make sure this reality becomes a vision.
Train everybody.
Take your time, look at the sights.
As I watched some impressive shooting skills, and even got a brief lesson on how to aim an unloaded AR-15.
You want to lean into the rifle. Almost like, you ever played football?
Yeah. Well,
Right.
no, I didn't. Sorry.
Okay.
I've seen it done before.
Right. Very similar to that.
I still couldn't quite understand what exactly they were preparing for. What scenarios create these so-called bad guys? What do you think about and you go, oh, I got my eye on that?
Well, we're biblically focused. And so in the Bible, we can read about the end times. And we believe we could be on the cusp of that. And if that happens, it's chaos. Society will break down. There's at least 2 places in the United States that are going to be nuked. It's biblical, and New York City is one of them. And it'll happen like that. Somebody maliciously takes down our power grid. Some really smart computer guys are like, well, what do you do in America with no electricity? Think about it. America would go into chaos. And our response to COVID, I'm not real impressed with. I was raised with just that whole, we need to be ready for things we can't control. And then I went in the military. I was in special forces. I've been all over the world. I've seen things that fall apart, and I see how people who are prepared for it can roll with the changes and do okay, and people who are just like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened, they just get dealt with, and I don't want to be dealt with.
As part of not being dealt with, Shofar Mountain is based on a homestead model, which stresses the importance of self-sufficiency. The property includes multiple bug-out cabins to serve as modest shelters when shit hits the fan.
This will probably end up being like a bedroom of some kind. It'll get finished. They're small, but it beats a tent.
Some more permanent residences for Joe's family.
So there's 6 people who sleep in here.
There's some kind of big bed theory or something. I don't think they're doing that anymore, but like they're a very tight family.
An active garden.
And this little thing here is fennel. It's really sweet and kind of, you know what it tastes like.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. Oh my gosh.
And lots of stockpiled goods, including these buckets and barrels of food.
Beans, rice, corn, stuff like that. And we've done the math, so you could think of 2 of these as basically a year's supply of food for 1 person.
You know, before you said on the porch, you said I think you said a hardcore prepper, I think, is that the term you
Have y'all seen Tim Pool? I'm sorry, Actual Justice Warrior. I'm sorry, Steven Crowder's. I'm sorry, the Quarterines. I'm sorry, No BS's prepper buckets. Have any of y'all seen? Their prepper buckets? Because they look higher quality than these ones. Like, this isn't really Jim Baker levels. I don't know. I'm just speaking about myself. Like, if I showed up on a compound like this, and then, you know, the person who was running it was like, I cannot disclose how many families are here. You know, how many fertile wombs have been insituated. But just know that you and your precious kin will be protected. Your eggs will not go unwanted. I would be like, okay, so what do I have to look forward to here? What do you got? Oh, okay. We're gonna be eating out of these little silos. What's in there? What do we have to look forward to?
Okay. What does that mean exactly?
Well, I guess there's a spectrum, right? I think a prepper would probably have a couple months worth. So, you know, they've got a little bit of food, they've got some gadgets, they have a bug out bag. Okay, that's a prepper. We're at the other end of the spectrum. We're trying to be self-sufficient. I call us neo-pioneers, kind of like the Amish with guns.
The Amish with guns. That's
Yeah,
it. Okay.
right.
Okay.
Finally, Pastor Joe showed me the newly added longhouse, which serves as a meeting place for the congregation he leads.
I've seen this building in your videos here.
Right. We have our services in here, but we also have like community classes in here.
I knew the Shofarians believed in Jesus, who they call Yeshua, but there were several instances of Judaism I couldn't quite wrap my head around.
We've got Hebrew writing here.
Yep,
and,
Shema Israel.
And the shofar here.
Yep.
But you still talk about the Bible. So
Yep.
what exactly is...
You want to know about my religion?
Yeah, I guess
there
so.
You go.
Yes.
Okay, so we firmly believe in, when I say believe, it's too small of a word. We know. God, the Father, laid down the rules that he wants everybody to live by, and that's called Torah, right? So 613 rules. You got to live by these rules. And he sent his son, Jesus Christ, who said, follow me, and the whole Christian shtick, if you will. There, we put the 2 together.
I'll give him credit. He didn't really ramp it up until then. I mean, up until this point, I was like, just you know, seems kind of creepy, but you know, you don't seem like an all-out culty guy. But now there's kind of no escaping it. You want to be a cult leader of some weird sexual cult so you can infertilize the next generation of white saviors.
Okay.
Because we don't think there's any difference. We're getting to heaven, if you will, by the grace of God through the blood of Yeshua. That's what we believe.
What makes it so much more advantageous for you to be here in this community?
First of all is the Ozarks. Many people, not just me, have the same feeling that the Father God is calling his people to the Ozarks as a place of safety for what's coming. And here's the thing about the Ozarks. We have everything we need, but we don't have anything in abundance that anybody strategically wants to control.
Wanting to get a better sense of how big the Shofarian community was, I drove a few hours south to meet a second group. We're about to go meet up with TJ, who also goes by Bear Independent. We're at what's known as Bear Camp around here. And he's another kind of satellite campus, if you will, of the Shofarians. One tribe, but multiple camps. I can't say what town we're in, but it's tiny, and it's not a lot going on. Hey man, how are you? Good to see you. Hey, how's it going?
Good morning.
Hello, I'm Zeke. Nice to meet you guys.
How you doing? My name's TJ Morris, Bear of Bear Independent.
So what's your connection to Shofar Mountain?
There are multiple camps. If you're near to us, then you're in Bear Camp. If you're near to Pastor Joe, then you're in Mountain Camp, so forth and so on.
You got the tattoos, you play the drums, you like your whiskey. You don't strike me as
Oof. This is just ramping up, eh?
The stereotype of a Bible thumper, of a holy man.
Well, point blank, Jesus wasn't a pussy. Straight up. Everybody in this group would first and foremost acknowledge that Yeshua is Mashiach, that Jesus is the Christ. But there's something deeper here with what we're doing other than the fact that we've all agreed to mutually...
I'm pretty sure that's what, you know, people who are fighting against Christianity have been saying for a while. That's definitely been the rallying cry of anti-theists. Fucking Jesus was a pussy. Fucking pussy-ass Jesus.
Assist one another if the shit hits the fan, bro. Like, that's great, but I'm not living for Doomsday. I'm living for Tuesday.
Across town, TJ showed me his first aid company that he runs with other members of Bear Camp.
Well, this is Refuge Medical. We are a first aid supply company and training organization.
There are many okay first aid kits. There's a handful of great ones, and ours is one of the great ones.
Does your team have a first aid kit?
We do, in fact, I have it with me.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. Oh, where is it?
Yeah, bring it.
It's very little. I'm gonna have them look at it. I hope they don't judge us too hard.
Toss it over.
As a North American Rescue mini fact, it has 2 pairs of gloves, a responder bandage, a tourniquet in it, and some pressure bandage.
He knows.
Yeah.
Wow, you knew exactly just by looking at that. You knew what that is.
We do this for a living.
Yeah.
You got time? Have you ever put a tourniquet on?
You want me to put a tourniquet on you?
Tourniquet, left arm!
Oh,
hurry up!
Okay.
No,
I'm gonna take it myself. Okay.
You're dying, hurry up! You're dying, hurry up! Hurry up! Hurry up! Hurry up! Hurry up!
That's really being put on the spot. Bet you feel the pulse.
See, I got a pulse. I'm still alive, right?
You are all the way dead.
What's the time right now?
He's going to love this feeling.
Actually constrict that. Feel the difference?
Yeah.
Okay. And then this is how tight it should be.
Watch his face.
See that face? Here it is.
How?
See that?
I like the one like Wonder.
Then that goes through, and then this goes across there.
Feel the difference?
What do you feel in my pulse?
Nothing.
Do you really? Is my arm like?
That's the point.
That's the
it's
point.
supposed to restrict the flow of blood from here down.
If it doesn't,
Yeah. Can we take it up now?
if it doesn't stop
This is the fucking larpiest shit. Oh my god.
The flow you haven't saved your life.
Hey, look, you see all the veins?
Yeah.
That's how it should be.
See that?
Yeah, brother, you see all the veins popping out of your arm? Yeah, we just saved your life. That's how it works. Yeah, this is medical science, brother.
That's how you know it's working.
Real quick, yes or no? Are you guys afraid of the end of the world?
I'm not afraid of it. No.
Anybody here afraid? Okay.
This is not out of fear. It's not from fear, it's common sense. When you know something is going to happen, where you have a reasonable suspicion, why would you not prepare for it?
Anybody who thinks that the government is capable of managing a crisis, Hurricane Katrina. It is not physically possible for the government to take care of everybody on a large-scale crisis. Because of those experiences, we've been able to figure out how to address those needs for ourselves, that should something happen, we're not at the mercy of the government.
Now that I had a better understanding as to why the Shofarians valued self-sufficiency, I asked the foxes to show me some basic survival tricks. Sister Kate showed me a day in the life of running a homestead.
So we're going to take this big brush pile down to our chicken run.
Back, boys. Oh, sorry. Oh, no. And taught me how to milk a goat.
Think of it like a water balloon, and you're squeezing the water out the bottom. There you go. You did it. Look at you. There you go. Perfect.
Wait, you're gonna live off goat milk in the future?
Wow.
I mean, I'm not gonna shit on goat milk or anything, but like in terms of milks, it's not like S tier. All right, I would like, just a lifetime of living off nothing but goat milk would kind of, I don't know, be a very sad, sour future.
That's just amazing. And with that, you can feed yourself, you can have goat's milk, you can have goat cheese. That was lovely.
And considering I don't own a firearm, Pastor Joe showed me how to defend myself against bad guys with some rather unsuspecting objects.
And there's all kinds of things.
Yeah, it does make great cheese, but like, first off, if you've already got, I don't know, he won't divulge the numbers of how many breeding families and pods he's got on the go, but like, if he is in essence doing, I don't know, 5 or 6, then if you have like 10 or 12 offspring from that, 3 goats is not going to provide the cheese you're looking for, you know?
Things you can do with this. Of course, you can use the teeth. Picture scraping my eyes with it. I can come up here and hit you in the neck like this and rip the face. Use this like a hook and hook them here. Yeah. Or somebody's got you like this and you just reach back and go.
This really goes to show you what they think is going to go down and what they're actually prepping for.
See? See, and it's nothing, right? It's just but it's like, get off of me.
Yeah.
Boom. Boom.
Like that's like a step in there. You know, you've got a table full of weapons here, but for self-defense, you don't even need all this. I mean, you're more lethal with the cove than I am with the AR-15.
They're called environmental weapons.
The more time I spent with the Shofarians, the more I realized how this type of lifestyle was not as extreme as it was prudent.
You know, I'm surprised by how normal everything is here. You and your husband watch Netflix. You both have a really good sense of humor. You're both very charming individuals.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know. I'm just I think it's really easy to be able to on paper to be like, these people must be some sort of.
What do you have about living in a tight-knit community? This is not an umbrella statement. I'm not trying to wash every single tight-knit. This one is just particularly strange. Like you see what they're doing, what they're preparing for, or what they think they're preparing for. It's pretty self-evident. I mean, he's even got the culty religious angle, you know, like throwing that one in there. Like, we believe in the word of our Lord and that there are 666 tenets that everyone has to live by. We're going to be like, you know, indoctrinating our kin into doing this in the future, all this kind of stuff. He's clearly preparing for some kind of a zombie horde apocalyptic scenario where he's going to be able to defend his offspring with a comb.
Colts out of your minds. I don't know, the Waco people or something like that. Sure, exactly. What is the perception that you get from other people, and what's the reality?
Okay, so we've been called Amish mercenaries. We've been called gun-toting Bible zealots. But yeah, I consider us more kind of 50s style mom and dad kind of normal.
Who's to blame for this kind of, for troping you out, if you will?
There are movies that would portray people like this as very extreme or just add dimension to.
My point is, nothing they're doing is harmful. I guess that's true. Nothing they've done so far is well, that we know of. It's just silly to me. So I suppose in my infinite wisdom, they do have the freedom of speech to do all this, and I have the freedom of speech to laugh at it. That's kind of the way I see this scenario.
What we actually are. I mean, all we'd have to do is, you know, be more gun friendly or a little more extreme in our political views, and then you could kind of have an argument for extremism there.
As my time with the Shofarians came to a close, I was ready to return to New York, motivated to ensure my own safety should chaos ensue. I was, however, still having difficulty imagining a life that balances preparedness with paranoia.
You know, for certain folks, it's really easy to sit around and watch the news all day and get really into the survivalist mindset and just say, okay, I'm not going to interact with this world because it's going to end any day now, and then just essentially waiting around for
chaos.
When
I will rise and be right. But we should prepare as humans on at least 2 axes. Chaos could be around the corner, and the other one is you're going to get old. In a relatively normal society, despite the fact that you don't like the government, it's gonna pretty much go along as it has. And so you ought to have a plan for that besides, you know, buckets of beans and rice and an arsenal of firearms or something. And so you do have to plan on 2 axes, which means if I have $30 of disposable income, do I buy mutual funds or do I buy rice and beans? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. You should do both.
Get those rice and beans. Get those rice and beans. So much rice, so many beans.
Hey, did
Do you like movies? Do you like Serfs? Do you want movies and Serfs watching the movies? So then come over to the new channels. It's the Serfs the cinema. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Can you do the thing, that thumbs up and comment and all those things that help us out in the algorithm that controls every aspect of our lives? Also, if you happen to have a Facebook account, can you delete it? Like just delete it. You should probably delete your Facebook account because it's not a great company. But hey, if you can't do that for whatever reason, I understand. And could you also go to facebook.com/thesurftimes then and give us a little like and a follow. We're just trying to push back against the fact that people like Ben Shapiro happen to dominate the platform entirely. And when everyone asks why do older generations believe the things they believe, one of the problems is the majority of them on social media use Facebook. So to counter that, we're just going to be on there too now. Also, if you happen to have a union or a worker co-op or even a leftist project podcast, website, Zoom, MySpace, it doesn't matter. We will advertise it for free on this channel. All you got to do is go to weareserfs.com and use the forms that we got there, weareserfs.com. Thanks, everybody.
To our gods, Xander Corvus and VK Jehannam, we are prepared to commit human sacrifices for your eternal glory. To our monarchs, the Tim Caucus and Tom Spiker, we are humbled to be your oafish jesters, clowning around in your royal court. To our lords, Evan Nudie, Tofox, Ryan Lubin, Trevor R., Jeff Lamb, and Alexander Thaler, we shall proudly carry your standard onto the battlefield and die for your precious land. To our esteemed Knights of the Round Table, Dark Puppy, Jenna Towell, Anna Loves Riley, Quiet 185, Omni, Riley and Anna, Poodlehawk, Multimondi, Trevor Janis, Lemmy 101, Anthropophojak, Saren 42, Chronic to Hemphog, The Great Pudini, Bone Genie, Catherine, Radical Maniac, Ramona Costa, J. Fraser Cartwright, Jimmy Bignuts, Violent Orchard, Sophie Baby, Andreas Chiringuito, Zach Christensen, Yopi, Josh Mickelson, Todd Buckingham, and Todd Lajeunesse. We raise our glass, we raise our swords, and we salute you.